Hello everyone, happy Friday. Happy Friday. So my name is Wing and I am doing this live. And I believe this is our final Aragon spring clearance. This is our last. And maybe we'll have another in the summer and the fall, but this is going to be our final spring clearance. So what I have here is two collections. This is the Aragon Caprice, okay, mechanical. And over here, this one right here is our Concept S. And I think these are, the prices for all of these are ridiculous. I don't really remember exactly, but I think this one here is something like $75. I think this one over here is 80 some dollars. And I think this one is 70 some dollars. I have to check because I didn't price any of these watch. So what the purpose of me being here is I want to show you what you're getting. Okay? If you are on the fence about any of this, there's nothing wrong with any of these watches. If you saw us about 3 weeks ago with our spring clearance, it's because I went to the warehouse and I saw a lot of watches with very few quantities, and I just want to clean up my warehouse and move on with the 2023 and 24 models. Okay. And I picked out a few of my favorite. All right, so I'm going to put down the mechanical first. I want to talk about the Concept S. This is ridiculous. All right, let me put this out, and I want to wear it on my wrist. It's only $75, okay, for your information. What we have, I think this is about 2 years old. You have the rotating bezel. You have a chronograph movement, okay? It's the Seiko VD55. Let me give you the spec of this watch. Is the large second here is your regular second. You activate it here. Your fast runner, okay? Your chrono second, and your chrono minute. This is a very, very cool watch. And I remember our intro price, if I remember correctly, was somewhere like $115 or $129. And now if we're selling these for $75, and by the way, I think it was only about 40 pieces left. Okay, the other color is sold out. So this IP brown. So to be fair to say, it's less than 50 pieces. I know it's 40 some pieces around. Very good looking watch. It's kind of unusual looking at, if you're comparing to, the traditional dive watch design. This is a very outstanding, unique concept. Okay, you can see the crown is at the 12 o'clock, the push button at the 12 o'clock position. It actually looks like an owl, somewhat, in my opinion. It's really, really cool watch. Even though it's a large watch, if you can see the case structure, it really hugged your wrist. I mean, not only this one, but all of the majority of the Aragon watches are designed and engineered this way. So I want to show you the details of this case. All of these are being done by CNC machine, like the sidewall details, and plus these sections here are indented. It's not just two lines cut across, it's indented. You can see that on both sides. The knurling design, sorry. And then you can also see the lug. And the case back is recessed into the back. So it gives you extra comfort. Instead of the case back is stick out, so you can see there's a minor gap right here. But because of this structure, this engineering, so it hugs your wrist very, very nicely. Show you at the 12 o'clock position, IP brown. And these cost extra to produce with the IP brown. And by the way, at the end of this video, I want to show you the lume of this watch, especially on the bezel. It's insane. It's light green. The neon green glows green, very, very bright. Okay, so you stop. Okay, you can, oh, all right, and then you reset. Okay, for $75, the Concept S, and less than 50 pieces available. All right, here we go. And also it's water resistance. And let me see how many, I believe it's 200. Sorry, it's 300 meters water resistance, so about 1,000 feet. Make sure you lock the crown. This is a quartz movement, SII VD55, okay? All right, so another one. So these are called the Caprice Mechanical. Over here is skeleton. Of course, they're always more expensive. And over here is your mechanical. Now, let me give you a little bit of the history of this movement. So basically, this is the Seagull version, which is the, they call it the TY3600, right? So TY3600 skeleton and TY3600, the regular. Why is it such a big deal about this movement? Why I always love this movement, okay? It's a clone of the Unitas 6497, okay? It's purely mechanical, so you have to wind this watch, whenever you wear this watch, or it has power reserve of about 40 hours, so a day and a half to 2 days, you have to wind it. But, as you're wearing it, I love movements, so to me it doesn't bother me that I get to pick up the watch and then play around with it and wind the crown. And the way to do it is, let's just say you receive this watch, okay? You receive this watch, is not running, of course, it's not running. So what you do is, when you get this watch, pick it, pull the crown out, set to the correct time, right? And then you push it back. I don't know if you can hear it. You hear the clicking? So you wind it. This is where they store the energy right here. This is the mainspring. This is the balance wheel, right? So you wind it until it gets tight. Let me do it. Okay, I think it's about, I don't know how many times, probably like 35. Here we go. Oh, it's getting tight. You see how it's getting smaller and smaller? As it expands, it pushes the energy out, and through the wheels, the energy will transfer to the balance wheel, and the balance wheel will kick back in to the second hand, and then into the minute, and then into the hour. That's how this watch movement is function. And I was, okay, this is tight. So as I was explaining why I like this movement, is because this is like the most fundamental and basic in mechanical watches. You get to see all the wheels, the top plate, the bottom plate. And when I learned to somewhat, I'm still not an expert in it. Many years ago, when I learned how to dismantle, and I think I shared this story with everybody, when I was learning how to dismantle the movement and put it back together, I started with this. As I was mentioning earlier, this is the clone of the Unitas 6497, okay? So you're paying the skeleton version for $87 because it's clearance, and before I came out, I checked the inventory. Majority of them is something like 20 pieces, 10 pieces here and 20 pieces there. So we don't have a lot. And if you were going to get the Swiss version of this, the Swiss made, make sure it's Swiss made, real Swiss made, not, they, you know what I mean, just a Swiss movement, and they import and re-export and call it Swiss made or German made. You'll be spending thousands of dollars for this, okay? So, right, and then I like to also, share with you that the failure rate of this movement is very, very minimum. The quality is amazing. It really, really is. And then this is also the upgrade or the most updated version from the Seagull. The vibration is 21,600. Instead of the early days when I used to make watches back in the days in 20 years ago, they were doing 18,800 vibration per hour. This one is 21,600, which is a much more smooth and reliable movement as compared to before. Really, really good looking for $87. And especially, oh, I forgot to mention, especially when you get the black movement and the blue movements, okay, we have those. They're even more expensive. Okay, so we have 3 or 4 colors. We have the silver, we have the black and the blue. They're more expensive. So if I were you, I would get these IP black case, the color movement. These are more expensive. So we have 2 sizes, 44 and 48, okay? You would not be disappointed. And I know some people, they're not really into mechanical because they don't want to be winding the movement every day or every other day. But if you're in watch collecting, of course, everybody has different opinion about things, and I'm just speaking from my perspective. I really enjoy winding and getting to play the watches every day. It's just like, maybe I never shared the story with you, maybe I have. I really enjoy washing my own cars. I know it's quite inexpensive to go out and go through the machine of $5 or $6 or $7. And I really enjoy washing my cars, but because that's the only chance I get not only to drive it, but I also get to, enjoy looking at the car, making sure there's no scratch here, there's scratch here, and finding out the car that I have. So 48 millimeter. So it's the case, the case design of the Caprice, the original concept is to have a very large window opening. You can see, even though it's a 48 millimeter, majority of the window opening is probably somewhere like 45, 44, okay? And then with the 44, it's probably somewhere like 38. So you get to see majority of the movement. I know not everybody is into, looking into the mechanics of the watch. They really enjoy looking at the dial, okay? And maybe this is yours, okay? So we've always, the MOP dial has always been retail at a high price point, okay? But I know right now, because this is clearance, we price everything for the same. Now, for MOP dial this large, even at my production cost, it's far more than Sunray or anything. That's absolutely honest with you. And if you're watching this live right now, go to the aragonwatch.com. On the menu bar, click on the spring clearance and order this right now. The MOP, I think it's $70-some, $78 maybe, if I'm right, $78. It is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, regardless, this is a watch that you'll never need battery. And would you enjoy, winding the watch and looking at the back of the case back, the exhibition case back? Right? Look at this. And even if you go out and buy a leather strap this quality, I would say somewhat like $25 to $30. So if you're going to get this entire watch, which is also water resistance to 330 feet, for $78, I think this is pretty ridiculous. And if you have, I was just talking to a friend of mine, they took their watch to change the battery. They said it cost something like $15 to $20. And if you get this watch, that is assuming you're just you never own, in your collection, you don't have a mechanical movement. You don't have a Unitest 6497 clone, and you want to experience this. I think this is a great way to experience a mechanical movement. You're not going to break the bank. What can you buy today for $78? And a tank of gas is probably somewhere like $50 to $70 today. And you get to have a real watch. Okay? And then I also like this. The original color, okay, through the phone, the iPhone, the Facebook Live, you might see this in gold, but it is actually not gold. We call this the Sandstorm color. Now, here is the reason why. Because we use the same Pantone in the sunray texture, it made it very vibrant. The original idea, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to design a watch using the same Pantone and use it with, like that moon or that soil texture, like the uneven. And it's going to come out completely different than this, okay? And if out of all the watches right here, right, out of what's on the table, and if you have a budget and you want to pick 2 watches, you can do this one. I think this is going for $73 because I know we have a little bit more inventories. I think something like there are 2 sizes. I think the small one, we have them in the 20-some pieces. And the 48 millimeter, I think we have about 40 pieces, something like that. Just give it a try. It's very, very good looking. And I can assure you, this movement is super, super reliable, just like the NH series. And it's very, very good looking too. If you look at, let me see, find the focus. If you look at the finishes of this movement, you can see the red jewels in the back and the blue screws. It's really, really well done. Okay, this movement is very, very well done. It's accurate. It's reliable. Okay, so I highly encourage everybody, if you have to pick one watch, go for this. It's not a gold tone. I would describe, we call, when I designed it, it was the Sandstorm Pantone. But because of the sunray, it made it look, it came out even better. It's very close to my skin tone, by the way. How funny is that? Really enjoy it. Let me see. Let me do this. Look at that. So the small second is at the 9 o'clock position. Just try this out. So once again, it's a mechanical movement. These 4 here. We have more colors in this. Just because I was doing the Facebook Live, I decided to just bring out a few so we can stay focused. And it's not very thick. It's about 15 millimeter. Okay? So it's quite contour around your wrist. Now, stay with me, please, because I'm going to remove the camera from the stand, and I want to show you the loom shot of this, the Concept S. All right, don't go anywhere. I know it might make you a little bit dizzy. All right, here we go. I'm going to pick this up. Okay, stay in focus. Okay, I have not turned on the light yet. Even it was just absorbing the fluorescent light in the studio, in our office. All right, so I just turn on the halogen light. Here we go. Oops, it's gonna blind you. There we go. Boom. For $75. Chronograph, the Concept S, and this is the final. This is the final Concept S for the chronograph version, okay? So maybe I'll do this one too, so you can see. Oh, right here first. See? Yeah, really, really nice. Yeah, you'll be able to see in the dark. It's wide opening. All right, guys, I'm done. And I hope you guys pick up 1 or 2 or multiple of the spring clearance, because this is the final collections of our spring clearance. Okay, all right, so if you have any questions, please feel free to, put it below, and I'll look through it and try to answer to everybody as possible. Okay, all right, see you guys. Enjoy your weekend.